What's up, everybody? Welcome to the No Scrubs Allowed podcast. Seal, how's it going, bud?
It's going, man. If you hear some like roars and like dinosaur type sounds in the back, it's my son. We went to the fair the last 2 days, and he's full of sugar right now. So yeah, I'm exhausted. Haven't watched sports in a couple of days, but
Me neither.
I've watched the Grizzlies fuck me on the Hard Rock app. A
What
couple of
they do?
different.
Did they win?
They beat the Heat tonight,
Nice.
which was the only thing. NBA, hockey, and NCAA. $5 to win 40. The Heat are the only team to fuck me because they lost to the Grizzlies. And then the
Jeez.
other night, the Raptors were the only thing to fuck me on a $3 to win. I think it was 28. So
Dang.
another good, long, nice parlay. Yeah, it's what are the Grizzlies doing? Like, what the fuck
And
is
Desmond
Jared
Bain hurt too,
Jackson?
right? Like, I don't fucking
So
even know.
I kept hearing on the radio, so I was listening to it on the way back from the fair and going to the grocery store and coming back. But some Williams kid on the Grizzlies was fucking splashing everything. It was
Hmm.
annoying as shit. And then the Heat got it within two with like a minute and a half left, and then sucked. I think this might have
Dang.
been Terry Rozier's first night,
Hmm.
but but yeah, it's crazy. So I thought about this. Um, Sorry, I told you I wouldn't babble. But could you imagine being a basketball player, waking up playing for the Charlotte Hornets and seeing a face every single day, and then you get traded and you see that same fucking face every single day? Would that not be a mind fuck?
Why is he seeing the same face?
The Martin twins. Cody's on Charlotte and Caleb's on
Uh,
Miami. So he
See, I
got
didn't even
traded
know
from
that.
one.
So,
That's crazy.
if you guys are avid listeners, so Joe, you'll notice that we have not been around in a few weeks. 2024 has already been off to a crazy fast-paced start, and it's not going to stop anytime soon. So I haven't watched sports. I don't know what's going on in sports. I have watched the Suns game, so I'm lying, but I haven't watched general sports. Um, it's been crazy for both me and Seal, I think. So
Yes.
it's been a fun year though, but I'm not going to promise consistency with the podcast. We are trying. We are doing our best, but
Yeah,
um,
last year our New Year's resolution was 50. I think this year if we can rub out 30, 40, we'll be doing good.
right, we are. It's hard because Seal is, for those of you that don't know, a restaurant worker of sorts, and so he's up late. I am an office worker, and I am bed early. Luckily, because of the time zones, it usually works out. But um, I've woken up at 5 o'clock in the morning every day in 2024 so far, though,
Yeah,
even the late days.
that's crazy. We're gonna have to like it's funny, back in the day we were trying to figure out if we could do it to a 2 day. This
Yeah,
thing is just gonna end up being a Sunday, get released on Sunday, so
I
sometime
know,
during
right?
Saturday we can figure it the fuck out. But
Yeah,
yeah, man,
but
life is definitely getting to us for sure. But hey, we keep on keeping on when we can.
yeah, it's so just keep sticking around, keep the follow or subscribe or whatever, but not subscribe because that's actually paid, and I don't think we get paid. So don't worry about that button. But the follow button, keep it clicked, and you'll see when they pop up. And we'll keep doing our thing. But anyway, so much shit has happened since the last time, so we're obviously not going to talk about everything.
Have you
Um,
have we
Go ahead.
recorded since you went to the Detroit game?
No, so we last recorded January 3rd, which was
Wow, two
right
weeks, 3 weeks.
after the semifinals games. So we didn't even see the finals game on here. So congrats to Michigan. You did it. That was a pretty good game. I was
It
impressed. I
was
didn't
a
know that
good
it would
game.
be. So
I didn't either. I thought that it was going to end up being one of the best college championship games,
yeah,
whatever, BCS Bowl, whatever, college football championship games, and it could have been if the drop passes
yeah,
wouldn't have been so much. And I mean, that's on the timing, right? Like we talked about that last one, how Michigan's front was so dominant and it wasn't going to be the same. It wasn't, except for like one or two dudes who were just fucking going insane and making Michael Penix go right when he's a left-handed quarterback. And that was causing a lot of problems, messing up a
yeah.
lot of timing. But yeah, shout out to Michigan. They got it done. However, they are now in a rebuild zone because they're not going to get all those people. We're about to see a lot of transfer portal people like we have seen recently
Yeah.
with Alabama. Shout out Nick Saban for retiring too. We can say that. But yeah, man, we missed a lot. Shout out to the Red Wings though. They are 2-0 with
Yes.
us watching them. Um, baby girl knows now how I am with sports. She watched me with the Red Sox last year. That was my second time watching them. She cried. So she knew. I said, when it happens, give me a minute. Don't ask why. Don't make fun of me. Just let it happen. And right when they came out and Sherriot's fucking dumbass without his helmet during warm-ups and baby girl was like, babe, what's he doing? And I'm like, he's a goon. Like, it was awesome.
Yeah, well, not only are they 2-0 since we've been watching, or since we've seen them live, but they are actually doing well, and they are the top spot in the wild card right now. We had a huge game against Tampa Bay that we won, but then we lost last night, or yeah, last night I think, to drop back down in the wild card. But we are right around there, and it is exciting to be in the playoff run again. So hopefully we keep that up. It's not even All-Star break yet, so we're just trying to figure that out. But it's good we haven't made it to the end of the year with a chance in what 8-9 years now, probably even more. By New Year's Day, we're already long done and moving on. So it's
Yeah, I
exciting.
think that Phantom, what was it, 16, 17 run we had
Yeah.
was the last. But yeah, it's been a very long time. We alluded to last year. I think we got 8 games in. We were 4-4, and we won 10, 11 total games the rest of the season.
Yeah.
The year before that, we were literally 4-0, and probably won another 10 games the rest of that season. So yeah, it's been awesome, especially for Detroit and everything. It's for everything going on besides the Pistons, obviously, but it's really
Right.
cool. It's awesome. Good old
Another
Detroit.
older thing that we didn't get to talk about. Huge shout out. We're gonna miss you. Maxime Crepeau is officially gone. LAFC signed Hugo Lloris, the French goalkeeper, which is super awesome. I love the guy. He's long, he's lanky, he's won goalkeeper of the year. Blah blah blah. All the accolades. It's that guy you bring in no matter what, no matter how old he is. It's just what you do. But to lose Crepeau is sad. So that really sucks. But we're bringing in some other people. We're doing some things. We're making some moves. We're getting international slots from Seattle for stuff. So we're gonna be filling out our squad like we always do. There's a Mexican defender that's gonna be coming in, and the fact that we're actually willing to spend international money on a defender is I haven't seen it before in LAFC. I know Chiellini is Chiellini, but he was that veteran type too. So like an actual up and coming real international squad player to be a defender instead of 20 forwards like we always do is super cool. So that happened. But I just want to make sure we shout out to Crepeau for the greatness that he did, really winning us the cup by breaking his leg. So
Yeah.
it's exciting.
Yeah, that's why. And I do like the organization going like you just alluded to. We get a billion and one forwards and like thousand middle fielders or whatever the fuck they're called, and
Midfielders.
then a couple of wings and defensive players, and then all right, go out there and not give up 10 goals a game. So I like that they're going with the mindset of the coach and trying to keep going with the game plan because 2 in a row, I feel like it's not enough for the LAFC fans. So I like it. It's a strong move, and I think it's a dick swinging move too to
Yeah.
go out there and spend the money on a defensive player like that is not normal for LAFC, but even MLS. So it's dope.
Yeah, every time people typically spend money, it's obviously on like a flashy player. It's on a big name. It's on a guy that's gonna just bring ticket sales. Well, officially it's not. It's unofficial right now, so it's just rumors. But it seems pretty legit, locked in. So, anyways, that caveat aside, we're spending money on somebody that we think is actually going to help us win. We don't care about filling seats. That's going to happen. We just need to win now at this point because we've tasted it. We need to taste it a few more times and get these fucking Carson Galaxy fans to stop talking about 20 years ago like they're doing something. All right, so Is that all the things that are not recent that we have missed? All the big things.
I
Think
do want
so.
to talk. I haven't talked to you about it at all, I
Hmm.
don't think. I wanted to save it for the pod and get your reaction. So I noticed it, but I didn't think it was a thing until the next day when talk radio was talking about it. So the end of the Bucks game, all right, you are down 8 points. They kneel. I think they're in field goal range, but they kneel the ball. 38 seconds left going into fourth down. Todd Bowles let the clock go out. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, oh shit, here comes a timeout. Why are they kneeling it so early in the clock? Do they not know it's only third down? Bam. Or do they not know it's third down? Clock, kneel it. Whoa. All right, let's go. Here we go. NFC Championship. Let's do it. Like Dan Campbell's running out. Like, hell yeah, we just ate kneecaps. No timeout. Like the Bucks, why doesn't Vita Vea go out there and block the fucking field goal? They could shank it, and then you give it to Mike Evans 4 fucking times. Give
Knowing
it.
Dan Campbell, by the way, they might not have even gone for the field goal. Just to be fair,
It was
they
like
might
what,
have.
third and 8 or something? Third
Yeah,
and 18, third and it was something
it was a
crazy.
lot. It was a
It
lot.
was a lot, but no, nailed it 38 seconds, no timeout. Is that you had alluded to it earlier in the game? Todd Bowles was getting out coached like crazy that whole game. But even at the end of that, that's a fuck it, let's hit the showers type of thing. I don't believe my team can come back. Like if they do make the field goal, you go down, you try to get the onside if after you score a touchdown. Does Todd Bowles not believe and Baker, that team? Like, what the fuck happened?
It's even worse than that, Brandon Steele. Did you see did you hear the post game press conference after that?
No.
So, all right. So it's none of those things. It is that Todd Bowles doesn't watch the game, I think. Like, honestly, like he's not paying attention to what's going on in the game. He listens to his analytics people and he shuts down, I guess. So they asked him about it at the post game conference, and he was like, yeah, when they got the ball, we calculated the time and we knew that they would have fourth down with 12 seconds left, and it just wasn't worth the timeout. And they're like, there was 35 seconds left when he
Yeah.
kneeled it. And so literally he just got the analytics from his guy that said after 4 kneel downs, it'll be 12 seconds. It's not worth it. And he didn't actually watch the game being played to know that there was 35 seconds left. He just, oh, well, when they kneel it, it'll be at 12 seconds. I'm not going to call a timeout for 12 seconds. And just completely had his head turned off.
Yeah,
So
you saw him
it's
hugging
even worse.
everybody. You saw him
Yeah.
hugging everybody, like saying good
He
year and all that
he
shit.
gave
But
up, which I mean, to be fair, I gave up as well. As soon as the pick happened, I threw my shit. I not real throwing. I threw my jersey off. I threw my shit down. I walked off. I paid attention, but like I had given up too. But yeah, for the coach to not be doing everything you can to try to win a ball game, I don't give a fuck. Like if you're down 10 at that moment, you're still running the Hail Mary, dump
yeah,
off, do whatever play. You're just doing it because this is your last chance. It's really frustrating. And the frustrating part is that we continue to do so well. I have said from day one, I do not like Todd Bowles. I do not want him to be my coach. I've said it. We can win a Super Bowl, and I will say it again. I don't care. I don't want him to be our coach. And the fact that we're doing so well because we sign these people that need to do well, right? Mike Evans, we decided not to re-sign, so he's going to do well. Plus, he's trying to keep his 1,000-yard streak. Baker is potentially in his last chance to get a big contract, so he's going to play well. Our defense, which eventually is not going to all be able to get re-signed, are all going to try to play well. That's not Todd Bowles. That's Canales, our offensive coordinator, who is going to get stolen from us, most likely. And all these players that are trying to get big
I
contracts.
want him.
As soon as Canales is gone, as soon as Evans is gone, because now somebody's going to offer him max money and we're not going to, because we have to extend Baker, which, as an aside, that's the right move. I don't like it. I was telling Eddie, I don't think Baker Mayfield is a Super Bowl winning quarterback. But in the context of today and what he did over the season, you have to do the extension. I get it. I'm for it. I'm pro extension, but I don't think that Baker Mayfield is a Super Bowl winning quarterback. But anyway, back to that. We're going to extend him. We're going to lose Mike Evans. We're going to lose Canales. We're going to have people with less chip on their shoulder next year, and it's going to go bad. And then Bowles, hopefully, will get fired, or he'll just be like, oh, well, we lost Mike Evans. It was a new coordinator. It was this, it was that. And they'll fire a bunch of people just like they're doing up in Philly and keep the head coach. So it's going to be rough because as long as we have Todd Bowles, it's going to be rough. And another aside, which we'll actually talk about in a little more in depth, but I'll add it here. I do not want to lose all my teams as fans. Obviously, I always cheer for my team to win, always. But Tampa Bay, you guys know I was kind of off on them. On Sunday, I cheer for them to win, but in the grand scheme of things, I wanted a better pick. We didn't get it. The Phoenix Suns, I always cheer for them to win. They have a chance to really win. If they fucking sign Miles Bridges, I will not want that man to lift a trophy. So
Yeah.
it's going to be very difficult. But anyways, that's a different story. But yeah, so it's frustrating to have Todd Bowles. It's never fun. And you've suffered some bad coaches in your time too, so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
We're
frustrating.
We're going through it right now. We had a coach get fired last week, or the week, whatever it was, after our last game, last week before, and he left and told a media member the problems are staying and the solutions are leaving. Like, usually when coaches think that, they keep that to themselves and then they go around to other organizations and they talk their shit. But people believe so strongly in these Jaguars that they're going to let it be known, like, yo, what the fuck? Like, I should have stayed. Like, the problems are staying. I should have stayed. Like, the solutions are leaving. So, like, yeah, no, I definitely get it. I know you wish the shoe was on the other foot with that, but our offensive coordinator is complete fucking ass, and that's the reason fucking Doug Peterson got his job lost in Philly, and that's inevitably going to be the reason he loses his job here in Jacksonville. But what I was going to say is, lucky for y'all have, there's a lot of free agent wide receivers going into this offseason, unless re-signed, like a lot. The 10th one that I'm looking at on this list right now on PFF is Curtis Samuel. Anybody will take that motherfucker right there. Gabe Davis, unfortunately Calvin Ridley, I don't think he's going to want to re-sign with us after all this bullshit we just went through. Who else? Mike Evans, of course, Odell, Michael Pittman. Like, there's a lot of receivers, so I feel like that isn't going to benefit you guys getting Mike Evans back. But worst comes to worst, you are still going to have somebody to help not get Chris Godwin double teamed. Well, because we all know what was it, 2 games last year Mike Evans missed. Godwin was fucking absolute ass. As the main focus.
I don't know what this is gonna say about or like how much say Sauce Gardner has in the Jets, but he said that he wants your guy Ridley. So if he's on the market, I think if I were an organization, I would listen to the wide receiver that the DB wants, because that means he can't guard that wide receiver. You know, like that's somebody I would listen to, but you never know.
No, Ridley's amazing. The thing with Ridley this year was the drop passes. I don't know if it was the rust. Obviously, there was no rust with the route running. There's no rust with the breaking, like I alluded to all offseason. This man had 1,400 yards with a broken foot. So that's there. This is hard because the great ones don't run like this. So for him to pop these out and still catch the ball, it looked like he lost a touch on that this year. A lot of long balls, a game winner against Cleveland, I want to say, he dropped. And then inevitably against Tennessee, I think he had 3 drop passes in that game that we had to win to get into the postseason, but didn't. So, yeah, I'm okay with not re-signing him, but for the sake of me having way too many fucking Jaguar jerseys for people who aren't on the team that are still in the NFL, yeah, I'd love for him to stay.
Well, because we're probably going to be talking a long time, a little bit about basketball and coaching and all that stuff. So before we get into the football coaches and the basketball stuff, let's talk about the 4 teams that are still alive. You got Baltimore and KC on one side. You got San Francisco and Detroit on the other side. 2 amazing matchups on paper. We'll see how it all works out. You have the Ravens and the 49ers were runaway favorites the whole year. The Chiefs and the Lions were an up and down mess the whole year. And when you see it, you're like, shit. The Lions are playing way better than the 49ers in the playoffs. I know the 49ers only had one game, but they didn't look that amazing. And the Chiefs are the Chiefs. You never want to bet against Pat Mahomes. So when you look at these two matchups, biases aside, what would you have hoped for if you were a fan? Is this the two matchups, or is somebody left out that you're like, man, I fucking wish they were there?
I mean, as a fan, seeing the way Green Bay was playing, you would have hoped that youth would have figured it out, because inevitably at the end of the game, that's what it was. The youth wasn't able to get it done. I mean, we can all talk about Matt LaFleur's stupid ass joking and the what do they call it? What is the meeting? The production meetings, joking around. But I also heard somebody talking about if what the fuck was the dude, the Panthers old tight end? If Olsen is the one that delivers that with his haha attitude, that's cool. But for what the fuck is his Tom Rinaldi, to be the one to deliver it and his seriousness, that kind of adds a different tone to it. Like if Olsen's, oh yeah, and he's in the presser, and we're talking about the kicking game, and he's just laughing around, joking about, oh, I always pray when he goes out there. That's different than Rinaldi being like, when we were in our pregame pressers, he was talking about how he prays every time. You know, it's a different thing.
Yeah.
But besides that, a lot of situations, Brock Purdy left what 3, 4, 5 interceptions off the stat sheet that he tried to give away to Green Bay. So just shit like that veterans know at that point in time, like you have to, like you can't be fancy with it. You can't try to snag it. You have to be fancy. You have to snag it. Whatever gets it done. And that's just the youngness in these guys. And I feel like as a fan of the NFL, everybody around is over the Niners. They're over this Purdy talk. They're over Kittle getting hot in the playoffs for no reason, even though he's fucked everybody's fantasy up for most of the season. And everybody loves C-Mac, I guess. So everybody roots for him. But yeah, with Debo out, I mean, hey, I think the fans are going to have a good time rooting for these Lions, who I think everybody in America, if your team's not in the postseason, you're a Lions fan right now. I know I am.
Yeah.
I know everybody I talk to is loving this story, dude. Bro, I was born and they haven't won a playoff game since. They won a playoff game in what, January of 91? Yeah, and then I was born.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then fucking nothing until this year.
You need tickets to the game then. You are the bad luck charm that they need to invite to the game.
Nope. They got that 64-year-old that's only seen 3 playoff wins in his whole fucking life. That sucks. But they got that man. What is it? He's been a season ticket holder for like 50 years.
It said something like 47 years or whatever.
He's seen 3 playoff wins in his day. That's crazy. They won a championship in 52, and I think he was born in 55. Like some crazy shit like that. Yeah. But yeah, so I think everybody's rooting for them. On the other side with the AFC, who knows, dude? Honestly, like the way this Baltimore team showed up in the first half, and then for Lamar to come out post game and say, because usually he doesn't talk about the locker room and all this stuff. He'll rah and have fun with the media, but inside stays inside. For him to come out and say, I talked during halftime and let them know we're not playing our ball. And then they came out and fucking mollywhopped these boys.
Yeah.
But is they going to come out with the first half against Houston? If so, are the Chiefs going to be able to go crazy? Right. The Chiefs have been suspect the last couple years, even though they won a chip last year. Like, who knows which team on this AFC side is going to come out in this game? Kelty's had 2 touchdowns in the last, month and a half of football, and they were both last week. So who
helped out
knows,
my fantasy
dude?
thing.
How about, did you see the last play of the game in the Chiefs-Bills game when Pat Mahomes knelt it? I think it was Allaire, the running back. He did a backflip on the last play of the game. Yeah, that shit was cool as shit. That was swaggy. But I don't know. Who knows? I like the Ravens and I like the Lions. If I had
like
to put
Lamar,
money, which I would.
And I like the Lions. I don't care too much about the Ravens, but I like Lamar. I
I
love
like
that
the
he bet on
Ravens
himself.
defense, dude.
I love that he's fucking right with it. I love watching him play. Everybody who said he was not a quarterback can go eat shit. Like, I love watching this. Um, I wish the Rams would have gone a little further. I don't wish the Rams would have beaten the Lions. I wish the Rams would have been a different seed, just so that they could have moved up a little bit and played in like a division round, or they could be the team that is facing the Lions this week. That would have been cool, because that game was one of the best games, and it should not have been a first round game. But
I
other than that,
agree.
no, I think the matchups are right. Dallas flamed out. Neither one of us said Dallas, but no, I'm glad. I don't care about
Yeah.
Dallas being there. Um,
But no,
but
this
no,
is
it's
good.
exciting.
These are honestly like usually in the AFC lately, like a couple years ago, the Bengals and Chiefs. The Chiefs defense wasn't that good back then.
Right.
All of these defenses play for each other. They're playing like a team. Single assignments and oh, here goes my fucking camera and shit.
That was mine too, dude. It might have been a
Uh,
whole
where they
thing.
where they have their single assignments and they don't know the Ravens. It's awesome to fucking watch. The Chiefs right now defense, awesome to fucking watch. When you look at the Niners, obviously the last couple of years, they're insane to watch. And then the Lions with Hutch, with fucking what was it, Gardner Johnson, like that team.
Mhm.
All of these defenses are insane to watch with each other. How they play as a team, how you can see the little triangles as they rotate going around in your mind, and it's dope. And all four of these teams deserve to be where they are. And like we've talked about since we were kids, and the old heads have talked about since the 50s, defense wins championships.
Hmm.
We're getting back to that. It seems like we had a couple years where if you could throw for 1,000 yards a game, you're going to win a chip. Fuck ass Pat Mahomes. But yeah, defense is going to win a championship this year. That's why I like to see the Ravens and the Lions in it. And I don't
Hmm.
know, maybe the Lions will be able to figure it out because that's the team I feel like when their backs are against the wall, they have a run game, a solid run game, and they can also squeeze it into their tight end. And oh yeah, they just got my ball Zach Ertz to
Yeah, I don't
go
think
along
he's
with the
gonna
tight
play.
end crew. He is. He will. Absolutely, he will.
They're gonna run a Philly special with him or some shit. All right, so let's make some play or some predictions. Um, all right, I guess we'll just go straight into like who you got and who you got winning the whole thing.
All right, so let's look at the Hard Rock with the spread and shit.
Ooh. Um,
So the Hard
let me
Rock
guess. Let me
has.
guess. Hold on. Let
All
me
right,
guess. The 49ers are 8-point favorites. And
7,
and the in Baltimore, so the Ravens are by 2.5.
3.5.
Ah, damn, I was 1 point off on both of them.
Yeah,
So that means
good
if
shit.
I'm going by my things, I should be picking the 49ers and the Chiefs against the spread, just because I thought the spread was going to be the other way.
Yeah, no, I'm
Um,
taking the Ravens and the Lions in this one.
If it's 3.5 and I'm betting spread, I'm taking KC. If I'm doing the money line, I do think the Ravens will win, but I don't think it'll be bigger than 3. I think it's going to come down to the fucking wire. It's going to be one of those kind of games, and I just hope Lamar makes a play. But no, I think the Ravens will win, and I think the 49ers are going to win, dude. Jared Goff
I
sucks
hope
under
not.
pressure. I know he made us look good, but that's because Todd Bowles' pressure is not Chase Young and
I was about to
the other guy
say
down his throat.
last week he didn't do too bad, but I honestly just feel, I don't know, dude. I feel like the Lions can get it done. When they bring pressure, he's able to get rid of it quick. They're able to run those crazy ass fucking counters. That running back, what's his name? Not Reynolds. That's the
Gibbs?
receiver. Gibbs. He's fucking special.
Yeah.
Like that dude
Also, for
is
what it's
quick.
worth, I know this is a sore spot for you, but Aiden Hutchinson is that dude, bro. He is after it. He's
I
doing
know.
one man
I mean,
show shit right there.
Trayvon got what 10.5 sacks this year,
Yeah.
so I'm not mad at it. But yeah, this dude's just a record single one man wrecking crew. He had. If you look at every defensive stat when it comes to sacking and quarterback pressures and all that
Yeah.
analytical shit, he's the top one. I mean, we can't talk about us because we're not in there, but Yeah,
But
he's
without
that guy.
Debo, that's going to be huge. Without Debo,
He's
because you can't get it to Ayuk without
ooh,
having a pocket.
and I just thought about that too. Who was it talking? Kittle on a McAfee show today was talking about like last week. Like, yeah, you can talk about the offense being sluggish and shit, but half of their whole thing this past week was a Hezi thing where the H to the Z and H to the Y and all that stuff. So Debo and Christian flipping to
Mhm.
Christian to the wide receiver, and that was a lot of what they were going to do against Green Bay. And when Debo went out in the first quarter, they had to flip their whole fucking script. And he's like, Kyle Shanahan's a great coach. So that's the only reason we won. So maybe a week of Shanahan being able to dial shit up without Debo is going to help out that offense. But even still, don't care. Just thought about it. Give me the Lions. I'm going to say that game is going to be 31 to 20. 31-20.
Ooh.
No field goals by the Lions except at the end to I got to extend it. Like, got to tack one on. Make it 31-20. And then Ravens, I think that's going to be very low scoring for those two teams.
Mm.
Give me 17-10 Ravens.
All right. Well, for my fantasy, I'm not making point predictions, but for my fantasy to work out right,
Why not?
because I don't know. I need the Ravens.
Neither do I, motherfucker.
I need the Ravens to lose, Justin Tucker to be the only points getter, so just a bunch of field goals, Travis Kelce to be the man for the Chiefs. The reason I need the Chiefs to win, I do have Justin Tucker, but I would much rather have Travis Kelce in the Super Bowl than a Justin Tucker in the Super Bowl. And
So
then
you're
on
saying
the
you're
other
not going
side,
to win shit.
and then on the other side, I need CMC, but everybody in the fucking world has CMC, so I'm actually hoping that the 49ers lose while CMC does what he does. And then I have St. Brown. So if the Lions win and the Chiefs win, it's St. Brown versus Kelce. I'm actually near the money. The only thing that would ruin me is if Lamar Jackson fucking goes off, because then everybody with Lamar is just gonna keep passing me. I had Josh Allen as my quarterback, and he
I think I
fucking
told
killed.
you, Lamar.
For what it's worth, Josh Allen killed. He got like 40 points in both games. But you never want your quarterback to be out before the Super Bowl. So that kind of sucks. But I did pick one that got me a lot of points. There were some people that picked Dak, so did better than that. All right, so let's make our we have plenty of time before the Super Bowl. We will be back to make picks. I'll promise you guys that. There will be a podcast before the Super Bowl, and we will make picks. Let's move on, well, to the coaching first. Let's stay in football, I guess, right? So coaching shit is happening. We don't know all of the things, but we do know one of the things that came through today, and that is that LA, San Diego, whatever the fuck they are, finally decided to spend money, and they got Jim Harbaugh. They got Jim
Which is
Harbaugh.
crazy because 2 weeks ago, they came out because Brandon Staley was still on contract for this coming up year and a year after.
Right.
And they came out saying we're good on whatever coaches come out. I think this was right after the agency thing. So maybe during the season, right? Right whenever Jim got an agent.
Yep.
And they're like, Brandon's our coach. He's gonna stay. End of season, Brandon's our coach. He's gonna say, wabam. Yeah, so you and your whole family have to move. We could have told you this weeks ago to where you could kind of get a plan and find another team. But yeah, since a couple coaches have already been hired on as coaches for other teams, and there's only like 2 or 3 left with Bill Belichick and Vrabel still on, now we're gonna let you find another job. But honestly, Staley's not gonna get special teams coach, maybe ball boy.
He'll
Who
get a
fucking knows?
coordinator. He'll get a coordinator position. But yeah,
He was like a college head coach before this. He wasn't shit, I don't think.
he won't be a play caller. Wherever he goes, he will not be the play caller. Absolutely not. But no, that's super exciting. I knew that was going to happen. Just to toot my own horn, but I have connections out here, obviously.
You said that last pod, I think.
So I did know that was going to happen. But well, on last pod, I didn't know. Last pod, I had some grumblings, but I knew about 2 weeks ago that it was done. So that's really exciting. And they decided to spend money, which is really, really cool. If you're charged, I mean, I don't care, but I like to see them do well. But what's that?
If you knew it was not 2 weeks ago, why the fuck did he go to Atlanta twice? Well, he went to Atlanta once and then they did a Zoom call. He did 2 meetings with Atlanta.
Because why would you not take fucking? No. I knew from the Chargers side. I mean, I guess Harbaugh could have said no. I knew
True.
from the Chargers side that that's who they were offering the job
Okay.
to. So yeah, I mean, he could have gone somewhere else, I guess.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's super exciting for Chargers fans. Like that's been their Achilles heel is the fact that they're cheap asses, which again, both of our teams and Eddie's team, just in case he listens, we all know about being cheap asses. We have some cheap ass teams on our stuff, and the Chargers were one of them. So it's cool to see that they're actually going to give it a go. Do you think he can recreate San Francisco success that he had? He's got one of the highest win percentages in the NFL. He just left to go coach college. So do you think he'll be able to do it with Herbert and Eckler and those guys? Or do you think it'll be a little bit of a different world for him?
No, I think he'll be able to get it done, honestly. He's going to be able to get a good staff in motion. The only thing is that division, man, is nothing to play around about. And also with Antonio Pierce getting the job and Vegas, that just makes it a little bit harder on them. He's a great coach. They have Tom Coughlin coming in to Vegas to help him kind of get his staff in order. And you already know with Jim, he's going to have his guys come in that he wants, and it's going to have to gel. And what we've seen the last couple of years, the play calling has been suspect, but even last year in that playoff game where my Jaguars came back, if I remember correctly, they were up 27-0, and then at one point they did get another field goal. They had 27 at the first half, so play calling isn't the big picture here, I don't think, for that team to get wins. When we look at them last year and their big downfall before they got back into the playoff picture, even this year, they started out is because they were losing close games on the defense, giving up clutch ass drives at the end of the game and losing on a field goal, losing on the last second touchdown. So I think Jim is going to be able to come in there with his mindset and be able to kind of tighten that shit up with his staff. So we're going to see a completely new Chargers team. It's just going to be that play calling on the offensive side. Who's he going to bring in? Is that going to help Justin Herbert? Because I think Brandon Staley as the offensive coordinator of that team is great. He does good. Austin Eckler probably doesn't think so because his numbers have went down in the last couple of years. But he won me a championship the year before he got there, so shout out to that. But yeah, I think it's going to be great. Just I don't know, dude. If I'm a fantasy picker next year, I'm not picking Keenan Allen. I'm not picking Mike Williams, Eckler, none of them guys, just because I don't know how that offense is going to be able to put up points when everybody's worried about we were up 27-0 and we lost a playoff game. What else do they have to kind of go back to?
Yeah.
A fucking shitty season this year? No.
Yeah, maybe. Well, shout out to Harbaugh getting it done, winning, running off back to the NFL and getting that. Shout out, like you said, Antonio Pierce, getting himself a job, locked down. Everybody knew that, right? I mean, they went through the motions or whatever, but the players would have fucking rioted.
Shout out Max Williams coming out and saying that he will not be on that team if Antonio Pierce is not the coach.
Yeah. So we knew that was going to happen, and it's the right call too. Like he did his thing. It wasn't like a Jeff Saturday came in and won 1 week off of emotion kind of thing. Pierce.
What was that game against the Chargers that got Brandon Staley fired? How many points did they put up on them?
The Raiders game.
Yeah.
It was definitely 44, I think, at halftime. 48 maybe. No, because it was all touchdowns, I think. So 48-0 at halftime. I think it ended like 63-10 or 63.
They were chanting fire Staley.
Yeah.
So you're welcome to both teams because I think that single game got Antonio Pierce the job.
Yeah.
And it got Brandon Staley fired.
That's true. Shout out. Do you know the name off the top of your head? The new Titans coach. Shout out to him.
No, I don't know. Don't care. We got a new defensive coordinator. Hopefully soon we'll get a new GM and a new offensive coordinator. But I'm not looking forward to next year right now. If we keep press and we keep bulky, I'm good.
So, I mean, I don't need your long-winded answer because we do hear it all through the season. But what do you think your plan should be for T-Law?
T-Law, get him a fucking line. That's the biggest thing the most of these guys in the NFL, the Joey Burrows, the Dax, they usually have 2.25, 2.5 seconds. I don't know the number, but I'm sure if I had to guess, maybe a second and a half, 1.75 for T-Law, and he gets beat up a lot. He has fucking Daniel Dimes numbers solely because of the offensive line. I'm on 30 seconds. Done.
So beef up the offensive line. That could help. That would help.
I mean,
obviously.
what else? We had,
So,
dude. Here we go. Calvin Ridley, Evan Ingram, Travis
You're
Etienne.
right.
Like we had
You're right.
guys that were able to get shit done, but the play calls that we had not going over 5 yards, all the fans watching are like, "What the fuck?" But looking back, if you can't trust the line to give you more than 2 seconds, you can't call a play to go over 10 yards. It's just not football-y possible.
Right. Yeah. All right. Cool. For us, if we lose Evans, then yeah, that wide receiver market is number one. And I'm fairly certain we're going to lose Evans unless he throws us a bone. But if he takes
won't.
the money, which I think he should, so he'll end up in New York or somewhere. I don't think he'll go to New York, but he'll end up
New York's
somewhere.
not going to have the money.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because they paid dimes.
And they're about to get Devontae.
Oh, are they?
I think so.
Nice. So, but he'll go somewhere. Maybe he'll go to Las Vegas. Go get yourself some money. Just have a good time. And then we need to just go fishing for wide receivers. All right. So let's move on now to the NBA. Well, actually, pause for a second. It's not official, but let's talk a little bit about Bill Belichick. He was outed as New England since we've been talking last, and he's pretty much going to go to Atlanta. But it's a weird thing because the owner wants to hire him. The board of directors or GM or whoever all fucking makes the hiring decisions, they don't want to hire him. They want to hire somebody else. So they're still interviewing people. And the owner is like, yo, we want Belichick. How do you think that plays out? Is he going to go to Atlanta or which, I mean, obviously the money wins, right? If the owner wants it, the owner wants it. But how do you think that's going to end up?
I think at the end of the day, he will, because looking at a lot of these jobs that are going to be available at the end of next week, whenever a couple more of these things, like Sean McDermott maybe might come up on the hot seat this week. But like who knows? But he's not going to go there. A lot of Dolphins fans down here are really pissed off at Mike McDaniels. A lot of stuff is coming out. They don't do hot routes. They don't have like audibles. They have kills into the second play, but
Right.
like Tua's not able to. Like you see a lot of guys doing this shit,
Yeah.
or like fucking whatever the fuck they do to tell a receiver, you're not doing what the fuck you were gonna do. You're gonna do this.
Right.
Nobody's ever said shit about Mike McDaniel's offense because it's been awesome. If Tua's able to throw it 5 seconds early and loft it to where it needs to be,
Right.
it's a great offense. They put up fucking 70 points at the beginning of the year. I think they had 2 running backs over 150 yards with a receiver over 200 and a fucking tight end that had 2 touchdowns in that game. Like, he can do some crazy shit. But for it to come out that Tua doesn't have any kind of say to change up routes, he can do protections. That's cool.
Right.
But as far as that stuff, everybody's, oh, he's a one route guy. Like he sees his first read, if that's not there, but he doesn't have any freedom to change it. So I feel like that could also, but at the end of the day, same division as the Patriots, that's not going to happen. So yeah,
hold on,
Falcons.
pause for a second. Real talk though, neither one of us are Miami fans. So do you think that is a Mike McDaniel thing or a Tua thing? Like,
No, Mike
do you
McDaniels.
think, yeah, but do you
Absolutely.
think he's doing that because he doesn't believe that Tua can do it? Because
Dude,
we've never
he
really seen
loves-
Tua check down to shit.
No, he loves Tua. Like he
Yeah, but he loves
absolutely
Tua
loves
because
Tua.
he fucking runs
Tyreek
his
loves
plays.
Tua. Well, probably that too, but I don't think that's in Mike McDaniels. I don't know why. I don't know if he feels the need for it. Like his plays are so good that they can just be ran.
That's
and the
probably it.
quarterback
He seems
doesn't.
like that smug little fucking.
Bro,
like-
have you not? I watched the Hard Rock. I have the
I
Max,
did.
but there's a clip that was running around where they were like Dan Marino was in his Hall of Fame jacket in Miami, and they introduced him. You know, he waved to the crowd, and Mike McDaniel was behind him. He's like, "Fuck you, Dan. We're coming for your records, Dan. Fuck your records, Dan." And like
Yeah,
they
he talks
got,
about how he like stole his girlfriend or whatever, stole his wife or whatever all of it is, you know, like I think he's just that like
I
that
don't need
dude.
hot routes.
He's that cocky dude that's just like my way or the highway, it's gonna work. So
I feel
maybe,
like what
but
Tua needs to do is look at Mike McDaniels as one of them 15-foot waves that he's used to seeing in his home of Hawaii, and grow some coconut balls and say, "Hey, Tyreek, run a slant, waddle, curl for me," and bing bang bong, and start driving down the field instead of 3 and outs off of not being able to get shit done.
yeah, and the fucking kill play is always so stupid. It's just
But
like an off tackle run.
they had so many injuries, dude.
Yeah,
I
that's
think they
true.
had 1 or 2 on the offensive line, about 15 on the defensive line and linebackers. They had
Yeah.
Melvin Ingram at like 258 pounds coming in.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about basketball. Sadly, we're
Sports.
recording. What?
I said sports.
Sadly, we're recording after the game, but the point still stands. Both of our teams are on a bit of a hot streak, dominating their respective stuff. And I think you're up to 5, and I think after tonight we might be up to 5 as well. In 2 completely different directions, right? Or not directions, but reasons for the directions. Mine, the people that were hurt came back. We have our full fucking squad. This is what it was supposed to be in the offseason when we got Bradley Beal. We're starting to see what the offensive firepower can do. I think we dropped 135 on Dallas today. Like we do that kind of stuff regularly. Your team, on the other hand, lost some of its star players, lost an all-star in Darius Garland, lost what should have probably been the rookie of the year a couple years ago in Mobley, and now you guys are doing better. And I do think Garland and Mobley are both really good. So I'm going to preface that by saying that I'm not trying to knock on those guys, but the ability for Jared Allen to be him and just do his thing is fucking paying dividends for you guys. Jared Allen is a fucking boss. I've said it from day one. I said it when nobody liked him way back in the day when he was on the Nets. I love him. I've always had Jared Allen stock, and he's getting his freedom to do it right now, which is awesome. But the question is, what do you do when Mobley comes back, and Garland too? But when Mobley comes back, because it's really going to take away from Jared Allen.
I think we just have to keep playing the way we are and try to bring Mobley in on the flashes on the offensive side. But defensively, we just need to keep this shit spread out, right? We need to force these guys out like we've been doing. Max Truce, gorgeous being, I'm gonna keep calling him that, have been doing a good job of kind of filling a role of being the undersized guy down there. Tristan was doing a good job until he wanted to fucking take
Yeah, that's a
PEDs.
problem.
But I mean that I don't think that was the struggle tonight. But these guys have been doing a good job being able to fill that in. But that's because we've been able to create space on the inside. Where with Mobley, we kind of want to suck that shit in, and we've seen a lot of these teams be able to beat us on the inside and the interior because they know that's where we want them to go, and they're able to game plan towards that. And like we've talked about, there aren't a lot of ballers in this league, but there are a lot of athletes. So if you tell these athletes, hey, listen, I need to run to the hoop and jump and get the fucking bucket in, they most of these guys can do it. And with the way these NBA fucking refs are calling it these days, they're probably going to go to the line too. Yeah. So with them being able to separate, and if you want to come in, you got Jared Allen on a fucking island. Good luck, son. And now he's been with us for almost 3 full seasons now. So he's 24, 23. He's still young as shit, but he's got the wisdom. He's got the IQ coming in. We have great coaching in Cleveland, which I love and hate at the same time because JB is going to be there for a while because of his staff and everybody that he has around him. But yeah, he's amazing. But when these guys do, and I'm not worried about Mobley more than I am with DG. Like, what do we do there? Like, we have Sam Merrill coming out every fucking game, popping off for 15, 20. Every fucking game. Karis LeVert, man. But when DG comes back and it goes back to that same offense we used to have, and whoever brings the ball up, ISO, get a couple picks. Like, hopefully we can bring DJ back and be like, listen, DG, and be like, listen, this is what we've been able to do. We run more of a motion offense without you. We're able to get this shit going. We've won a lot of games doing it. We're in fourth fucking place. You have the Bucks, the Phillies, and the Celtics above us. That's it. Like, we're the next best team in the East, which is saying a lot. We need to keep that shit going. And there's no reason we shouldn't if the talent's able to elevate. Shit, I wouldn't even mind if like DG's like, yo, I'll come off the bench. No, it's not gonna happen, but that'd be kind of dope.
So let me ask you this. This is completely hypothetical and based on Donovan Mitchell saying something to your GM, I guess. But if the trade deadline is 2 weeks away ish, if Donovan Mitchell comes to you guys and promises you, guarantees, signs an extension, whatever it is, that he'll be back next year for you guys, would you trade Garland? Would you be like, hey, like it's working without you? We're gonna now. You obviously don't trade him if you think Mitchell might leave, but if you know Mitchell's gonna stick around, would you trade Garland?
Absolutely.
I would too.
1,000%. I will put that jersey in the fucking rafters, whatever the fuck they're called, and I will buy this jersey put a 5 with it, nice little 5, and then I'll get a Donovan Mitchell jersey. But yeah, there's absolutely. We all wanted Donovan Mitchell to turn into pretty much what Spida is, and he hasn't. He's good. Like, he's a guy that can be a what are they called? The all-star backups, pretty much.
The reserves.
Alternates. Yeah, he could be. He's good enough for that every year of his career, but he's never going to be that guy who's the best guard in the league.
Right.
When Donovan Mitchell's already proven time and time again, he's one of the only shooting guards / point guards outside of Stephon Curry that can put up 40, 50 every fucking game.
And in the playoffs too. He's already proven that too. So yeah, for sure. So as far as we're concerned, our dudes are back, man. And it's showing what's gonna happen. Also, finally, shout out. I'm not gonna talk about the game tonight because we don't talk about like individual games on the podcast. But shout out to Devin Booker for finally fucking getting Luka Doncic off his fucking back. He scored 46 tonight. He was the reason we won. KD actually had a bad game for once, and Booker took over. So good job, Booker. Now do it when it's actually a televised game. Actually, this one was on ESPN, I guess, right? But do it when there's actually pressure. Do it in the moment. I love Devin Booker. I'm wearing his jersey, but do it when it fucking matters, please, please, Devin. Anyways, we came back and we're on a 7-game win streak now. And we're moving up the rafters, up the rankings, to where we shouldn't be in the play-in right now. Like, assuming our people are healthy now and they only miss like a game here and there, like normal ass fucking NBA players, we're gonna miss the play-in. So we got rid of that, but we're on a collision course currently, unless Minnesota, OKC, or Denver falls off, which is still possible, especially after that fourth quarter we saw from Minnesota. But if those guys don't fall off, we are set up for a potential first-round matchup against the fucking Clippers, and that pisses me off. That would be the craziest first-round matchup ever, us and the Clippers. But all that to say, that was a long-winded way to say our starters are back, our guys are back, and we're looking good. And with all due disrespect to dominating, Nurkic has stepped up. He's been the dude. He's only missed 2 games. Obviously, injury is the scare for him as well, but he's only missed 2 games this season, and he is fitting the role perfectly. Ayton could not do shit that he is doing, not even close. And Ayton does other stuff. He does other stuff well, but he does not do that shit that Nurkic is doing for us. And the way he cuts to the basket and gets these easy dump offs when Durant's getting double teamed and shit, it's beautiful, dude. I'm loving it.
Yeah, we talked about this a while ago with the Nurkic and then the Bradley Beal situation. We both thought that Nurkic was going to be the one to pay more dividends after letting Ayton go do whatever the fuck he's doing up in the northwest.
Getting stuck on his driveway because there's too much snow. Did you see that?
Yes, I did. That's wild. But and even Eubanks.
Yeah, Eubanks.
He's been able to come out and with his weird ass get big minutes. And I feel like that's because of what they're able to do in practice and what they're able to teach, knowing DeAndre is not there, doing the opposite of what they're trying to do. So they're really able to get in there. So the ones, twos, threes, whoever the fuck is getting in there in that paint, coming in for however many minutes, is actually getting taught the right way, the fucking play in the paint for the Suns offense. And it's been awesome to see. And then Nurkic on the defensive end, always getting scratches, nosebleeds, all this shit. I love his attitude. He's the complete opposite of Ayton when it comes to physicality, and it's been awesome to see. Like I don't know what he's saying to these guys. I don't know if he's speaking English to them, but it's great. It's awesome.
And then on the flip side of the pillow, we're getting what we wanted from our role players, and how much can we expect that in the playoffs, right? Like Grayson Allen is having the season of a lifetime. Chimezie Metu is looking like an actual NBA player, which, no offense to him, that's not what we expected when the season started. Nas Little is not playing well, so that's fine. But Bol even getting time out there. Like there's some Keita Bates-Diop is getting time when everybody thought he was out of the league. I thought he was out of the league, and he was just a throwaway in a trade, and now he's hitting big
He's been
corner.
splashing, yeah.
He's hitting big corner threes for us all day. How much should I temper my expectations when we get to the playoffs that those guys are going to do that, or is our team built for those guys to do that in the regular season because we have three dudes that are going to do it in the playoffs, and that's all we need there
Yeah,
to
I
win.
feel like that's honestly what gets preached day in and day out to these extra rotation guys. The Grayson, even though he starts a lot, Grayson Allen's, the Bates Diops, even the Metus or Metus, whatever the fuck his name is. When the ball's in your hands and it's your shot, make it. You're not gonna get a lot. It's not gonna
Right.
happen. We all know Grayson Allen shoots at a high percentage, but we also know his shooting efficiency is horrible. So it's been, like you said, career highs for him and everything. But his shooting efficiency, I think, is the best thing that's happened for him, because the shots he takes now are smart shots, because he knows he's not going to only get 3 or 4 of these things a game. Like, he's not the guy that's going to come in and get 16, 17 minutes. No, there's 3 guys that are going to be on the court for 40 minutes. There's a center that's going to be on the court for 32, 33, and then all of you guys are going to be playing 25 minutes. That's never happened for him. It's never happened for Bates-Diop. Poor guy, thought he was going to be a starter for his career.
I know, right?
But it's never happened for him. Metu's young, but this is the most minutes he's probably going to get in his career, and it's all because it's surrounded by these 3.5 Nurkic the half guys, and it's working right now. And I think for the playoffs, it's probably going to be great, because most of these teams are going to shrink down to the 7, 8 guys, and then that 9th guy is going to be the most important. For the Suns, they got fucking from 1 to 10 that can go out there and get it done, and they're all doing it every single fucking night. And it doesn't matter if Allen needs to go out and shoot 10 shots, he's going to make 7, 8 of them, and 5 of them are going to be threes, and he's going to have 25 points. Metu can go out there and get fucking 10 boards, 3 assists with 15 points, and have a great Draymond Green type game and actually put points on the board.
Right.
So this team, I think, is actually molding together and getting built for the playoffs, where a month ago, last time we recorded almost, we were not feeling so confident in these Suns. So I like what you guys are doing, what you guys have done, and Vogel's come in there, and he's brought in his old school type coaching to it, and you guys are set up for success. I feel like I'd be ready to get one of these things, but with the championship on it instead of just saying NBA Finals. I fucked up last time.
I think I told you that. You asked if I was going to buy like a jersey or a hat or whatever, and I said I'm not going to buy it.
I told you I just ordered the hat. Are you going to get one? You're like, no, I'll get a championship one. I fucked up. It's my fault. I'm not going to do it again. We're up 2-0. Got cocky.
Hey,
I wore
it's still
it
a nice hat. All right. So we buried the lead on the thing that actually happened today, but we're on our way out.
You guys can't see this.
We're getting on our way out of here, and the superstar of the league, Giannis Antetokounmpo has done it again. He's fired another coach. He's getting his way. He's doing his thing. Doc Rivers is coming into Milwaukee. First of all, Doc is a great coach. We know that. We don't need to talk about that part of it. But this whole saga of you lived it with David Blatt, but a coach that comes in playing well, doing well, but the system is not what these guys want. The practices are not what these guys want. The schemes, because a coach wants to move on too, right? Like, sure, he wants to win championships, but he's trying to get his big contract and do his shit too. And this is Adrian Griffin's first job. He's wanting to do that. Well, it didn't mesh, right? So for that saga to happen, do you think, notwithstanding the Doc Rivers part of this, do you think this is going to cause a rift that can't be fixed in 40 games? Or do you think 40 games is enough that these guys can all just boom, band together, let's get this shit done?
I think they're going to be able to boom, band together even more with a head coach that's more vocal. The reason I thought about David Blatt is him and this Adrian guy who I've never fucking heard of before. They're more like the head coaches of the NFL, right? Like they kind of divert everything and they're there for the woohoo and the timeouts. Not in the NBA, my boy. There's 12, 13 guys. That's it. You need to be on every single guy. You need to be held accountable for every single possession, every single play. You can't delegate that responsibility to the assistant coaches, which he was probably doing. The locker room didn't respect him, and I feel like it's for that reason there, is that he was a head coach of a football team and the National Basketball Association, which you can't, that you're not able to do that.
Well, you can be a GM of a football team from a National Basketball
Association. That's not able to happen. Apparently, he played back in the day, and we all know the report of these players are pretty fucking good. Doc Rivers being the OG of these players turned coaches.
Yeah.
Steve Nash, RIP. But a lot of these players have done good in recent memory. So I think that them being able to turn the corner, Doc coming in, will definitely be able to immediately change. Just the fact that Doc's going to come in and be in every practice, vocal, on their ass, and kind of change the whole momentum to where you have a guy talking in practice, but he doesn't say shit in the games. That wouldn't be cool with me. So I could only imagine these guys who take it as a profession would feel.
Yeah, well, Doc's going to definitely take care of business. He's going to get the best out of Dame. He's going to get the best out of Giannis. He's shown that he can do it. He's shown that he can teach, not teach, but manage egos, manage people that think highly of themselves, and manage superstars. And that's a different beast. You know, there's the people that can coach, and then the people that can coach superstars. And those are two very different things. And you might be able to do both, but those two things are very different. So I'm excited to see what that is. It sucks for Seal that he's in the East with those guys. But I agree that Doc's going to be able to not turn that around because they're doing great, right? They're 30-13. So continue it, but turn around the locker room and really get those weird things that have been happening cleaned up. So we are going to get out of here. I assume Seal's coming back at some point. I had a shout out. What the hell was it? Hold on. Let me get my shout out here.
Oh, while you're doing that, how many people do you think are going to be in the portal in the college football system now that the Washington head coach is in Alabama, the Michigan head coach is in the NFL, and who knows how that shit's going to be slated?
I lose track of that shit so much.
And like next year,
there are so many fucking people every year. I feel like you should be able to sign 1-year contracts in college now. Like you're not even.
I mean, they do the NIL. But yeah, you shouldn't have to wait till you're a
for the actual
junior.
school, like you're just do your school, man. Like,
you know what we should do? I think a safe bet would be like like put $1 on like UCF, Appalachian State, all these people to make the playoff, because we got 12 fucking teams next year, and there's no, like, the dynastic runs are gone, right? We thought Michigan might be able to have one. Nope. Alabama's done. Georgia, I mean, they have 1 loss in 3 years. So who fucking knows?
All right, now I finally got my shout out. So, but yeah, the transfer portal is going to be ridiculous. So I wanted to shout out sorry that it took me so long to find your name, but Nick Dunlap. He is an amateur golfer that fucking won the whole tournament. Again, I just said the tournament because I don't fucking know what tournament it was because Google was being an ass. But he won this tournament. He can't win money. Dude cannot win money because he's an amateur. So he just beat up on all these pros, and the entire I think it was 1.7 million or something goes to the second place guy. So no shout out on the PGA, by the way, because that's kind of fucking bullshit. But shout out to
Go
Nick
live.
Dunlap. He just joined because it was like a local one near him. I mean, obviously he's a good golfer. He plans on going pro. He's like 19 years old. He's going to go pro at some point or whatever. But he only went because it's close enough for him to be a member of the course. So he like got to go in as an amateur and do that weird play-in thing that they do. And he won the whole fucking thing. So shout out to him. That's fucking cool. Sorry he didn't win any money. They should just like hold it or something so that when he becomes a pro, then they give it to him or something. But
That's so
or
stupid.
don't give it to anybody. You don't give it to second
PGA
place
sucks,
though.
bro.
Second place didn't
We
do
can
shit.
all agree, especially all of our
Second-
viewers. Anybody that
Second
listens
place
to us.
didn't do anything. But anyway, shout out to him, man. It doesn't matter if you're young. It doesn't matter if people are counting you out. It doesn't matter if you're expected to win or if there's money on the line or any of that shit. You go out there and you do what you do and you try hard and you potentially win at the end of the day. And people are talking about you. So be like Nick Dunlap, and as always, be a stud, not a scrub.